Hello, everyone. Welcome to Empowering Entrepreneurs, a digital creation space introduction. My name is Caitlin Tips, and I am a public services librarian senior with Plano Public Library, and I will be presenting today's program. I am assisted by Emily. Please say hi. Hello. Who will be monitoring the chat and assisting with today's program. Before we begin, I need to let you know about some ground rules that we've set up for today's program, and then we'll get going. So for today, during this virtual program, you will be muted during this class, and we have your video blocked. You will only see the instructor's screen, and at the top of your screen, you can find an exit full screen option if you need to get to other things on your device. If you are welcome to ask questions or request that anything be repeated during today's program. You should see an icon at the bottom of your screen that says chat. Click on that to open the chat window. Chat is set to be seen by library staff only. If you prefer, you may also use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen to ask questions. Please note that any inappropriate questions or comments will cause your immediate removal from today's class. For all questions, we may either answer it immediately, wait till a break in the program information, or answer at the end, either in chat or the presenter will answer directly. On our website, you may find additional resources such as databases that supplement today's program. We will be using the instructor screen to demo anything that needs demonstrating, and may share additional resources in chat as well. A recording of today's program will be available in a few days on the Plano Public Library YouTube channel, should you like to revisit any information shared today. So with all of that out of the way, let's get started. So today we're talking all about the digital creation space and how it can support the entrepreneurs in our community. So this is our class agenda. We are going to review information about the Plano Public Library's digital creation spaces. This is going to cover specifically how the library's digital creation space benefits our entrepreneurs, as well as the available resources available here. All right, so first, what is the digital creation space? So the digital creation space, also referred to as the DCS, it's just the acronym. I can say that, is a space offered at Plano Public Library that provides access to entry-level professional grade audio and visual equipment and software. We have 3 DCS locations at Haggard, Harrington, and Parr Library. Now, these library locations all offer the same access to audio and visual equipment and are available during the library's hours of operation from opening until 1 hour before we close. The picture on the right-hand side of this slide shows an image of the Harrington Digital Creation Space. All DCS locations have at least 3 computers available in addition to the equipment. The only difference between each space is the room occupancy limit. So at the Harrington location, we actually have 4 computers. There are 4 computers at Parr Library as well. Haggard actually only has 3 computers available in their room. Okay, now what are our user requirements to use this space? So you must have a Plano Public Library card in good standing. This typically means a user's account is free of any fines or overdue library items. The patron making the reservation must be over or at least 13 years old. If a patron requesting access of the DCS is under the age of 13, a parent or guardian must accompany them while using the room. So they must stay in the room while the minor is using the room, if they're under 13. And patrons must agree to follow all library policies while in the space, including our code of conduct, our facility use rules, as well as the digital creation space policy. All of these policies are agreed to either when you complete a library card application or when you make a reservation online to use the space. And I'll talk more about that in just a second. So to make a reservation for the digital creation space, it must be made online from the main Plano Public Library website. I'm going to momentarily hop out of the PowerPoint now to show how to access this page. So give me just a second here to pause my sharing to switch views. Okay. Sorry, guys. Zoom can be a little finicky while I'm doing this. Okay. Hopefully y'all see the library's main website here. Okay, so to make this reservation, we're going to start from the main library website. You can get to this page by typing in planolibrary.org. So from this main library website, there's a few ways you can get to room reservations. You can find this either from scrolling down on this first initial page until you find available rooms. And underneath that, rent rooms or reserve a free study room. Or if you go to the very top library drop-down menu, you can select room reservations under library services. Now we're going to select this room reservations page. From this page, when you scroll down, you will see that there's 3 blue rectangles here, and it's the type of reservation. So there's the program and conference room that it defaults to. Next is study rooms. If you've reserved a study room at any of our locations, the digital creation space reservation process is very similar. So when you click on this rectangle, it should change to a darker navy blue color, and it should pop up with that description of the DCS space. Now, when you scroll down, you can see the available options for using a digital creation space. So first, before we click on reserve a digital creation space, which I just did, we're gonna hop back a page real quick. I do wanna point out that there is a complete list of all the equipment available in the digital creation space, as well as a copy of the digital creation space policy that you may view. So if you click on the equipment list, you can see that there is this overview of everything included in this space. The pictures are accurate to the pieces of equipment available. So if you're curious as to what we have, or if you want to go to your reservation prepared, you can take a look there. We're going to talk more about the equipment available in just a moment as well. And again, that policy is available for viewing as well in case you have any concerns. Okay, so let's hop back into that reservation process. So like I mentioned earlier, when you click on that link to make a reservation, it will take you to the same system used to book a study room at any of the Plano public libraries. It will ask you if you live in or outside of Plano. Either is fine and will not hinder your ability to reserve the digital creation space. So we're going to say we live in Plano, and we're going to click done. And it will then give you current and future dates available on our calendar. Now, first, you're going to want to scroll down and narrow down the library locations to either your desired DCS location or to all of the DCS locations if you're mostly looking for available times. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that just Haggard, Harrington, and Parr selected, which they are. We can now see what times are currently available for reservation. So you can see here, we scroll down, we see the Haggard digital creation space. Scroll down further, you can see the Harrington availability. And if we continue down, we should see the Parr digital creation space availability. So when you select a digital creation space, that reservation block, any time that has already passed will be grayed out, like you see here. And any time that is currently available for reservation will be green, like so. So you're able to book the DCS up to once a day for 2 hours at a time, up to 2 weeks in advance. So once you select the time in the DCS, we're going to go ahead and select PAR, and we're going to go ahead and select 4 to 6 p.m. So once you select a time in the DCS, a choose option will appear on the lower right-hand corner of this box. Now in this box, before we do click choose, I do want to point out that it reiterates the room description, included resources. It will also always state the room capacity and any setup times needed. All right. So when we click choose now, it's going to ask you to put in your library card information. And from there, it will pull your library card information into those reservation slots. It'll ask you for the booking name, as well as if you are open to sharing the space with others. Now, obviously, if you're going to do some recording, you do not want to select that option to share the space. It will then ask you to, again, agree to the DCS policy, and then it will reserve your time and you should receive an email confirmation. Now, one thing to note about the digital creation space booking, these are considered mediated bookings. So if this is your first time booking the digital creation space, a library supervisor may reach out to you to confirm that you understand the intended usage of the room in addition to the room policy. If you make a booking on the same day you intend to use, your booking may have a message awaiting approval. This is completely normal. Please just see a staff member at the desk who will confirm your reservation and will ensure you are able to use the room. All right, so I'm going to hop back into our PowerPoint now. But if there are any other questions, please feel free to post those in the chat. If you need anything explained or if you have any burning questions, just let us know, okay? Alrighty. Hopefully everyone can see the PowerPoint again. So next we're going to talk about entrepreneurship support, which is why everybody's here, I'm guessing. You want to know how this space can help you out. So now that we've reviewed how to access the digital creation space, let's talk about how this space really can support you and your entrepreneurship needs. This space, as we mentioned earlier, is about providing access to software and equipment. We're going to dive more deeply into that, I promise. But I want to point out that there's just a few options to get started. So you can use the digital creation space to help you create a design for a logo for your business. You can take photos of any products you are attempting to sell. You can record a podcast or even take professional headshots. There's so much you can do with our space here at Plano Public Library. And if you have no experience with how to do any of this, that's okay too. We offer classes here at the library, both in person and virtually, to support our community in learning new skills. These classes include Adobe software, some specifically for needs already mentioned. We have a Photoshop product photography class, a Premiere Pro Short Reels virtual program. This class reviews editing needs for a short form video post on social media. We even have classes on how to use a Cricut machine. There are more potential uses of the digital creation space to support business needs than I have listed here. This is just an overview of some basic support options, and we're going to talk more about that as we continue to review the different equipment available. All right. So let's get started. Let's start talking about what we have in this space. We're going to start with the software. Now, The DCS contains access to both paid and open source software. When you reserve the DCS, one software you get access to is the paid subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud, and you get this access for free. Adobe Creative Cloud includes access to more well-known Adobe software such as Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, Audition, and InDesign. Adobe is in general considered to be professional grade software. It is useful for most graphic design or audio and visual project needs. Some examples, we've already talked about a few, but let's just talk about a few more. InDesign, for instance, may be used for book formatting. Photoshop for any kind of graphic creation or editing. And Premiere Pro is considered the professional standard for editing videos for all kinds of usage, such as social media, or Audition to record and edit a podcast. There's over 30 different apps in this suite, and we do provide access to all of those applications beyond what we have listed here on this slide. Now, I mentioned open source software. Open source software, on the other hand, is completely free to download and use under certain parameters. This is software you could definitely download on any device that is listed. You could certainly download any of the software listed here to use at home. The caveat to that is ensuring that your device is compatible with the software requirements, as well as some of these softwares do have stipulations for businesses, such as if you are using this software to create anything you might sell or profit off of, they would then expect you to pay a certain amount in turn. Now, the limit for that is extremely high, and it only affects a few of the software listed here. So we have listed here Cricut Design Space that does work directly with the Cricut machine. We have Blender, which is a 2D and 3D dimensional design software. Unity is another 2D and 3-dimensional game design software. Unreal Engine is another 3D design software. It's used primarily for game engine design, but it's also used in a lot of 3D simulation, as well as some CGI effects. We also provide access to Visual Studio Code, which is a coding software. So if you're looking to learn any kind of programming, we do provide access to that software. And finally, we have DaVinci Resolve 18, which is an open source video editing software similar to Premiere Pro, but this one's completely free. It's also been used for several Hollywood movies recently. So everything listed here is professional grade. Some of the software does have a premium option that we do not provide access to. That would be the Cricut Design Space software. Because this software is specific to their hardware, they offer a premium tier for additional features in the software. In the case of Cricut, that program is called Access, and they charge a monthly fee similar to Adobe for additional access to that material, but it is not required to purchase that subscription to run the software or use it to design things to work with the Cricut machine. Before we continue, are there any questions?
No questions so far. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. There is one question. If you want to take that now.
Yeah, for sure.
So the question is, I didn't understand how I can have access to Photoshop and the rest of the software. It is already installed the library computers, or I can log in with my library card to access it through some sort of cloud.
Okay. So the access to the Adobe software is specifically for use in building. So all locations do have an Adobe computer on the public floor, if that's what you're specifically wanting access to. And that would be a normal computer you log into with your library card. Now, if you are reserving the digital creation space to access Adobe, um, when you make that reservation, you go into the space, the computers are already open, accessible without login, and the software is installed on those devices. So if you're going to a library with a digital creation space, then you can access the Adobe software either on the public floor at that one computer on the public floor, or you can reserve this space and access the software there. It is highly recommended that you have some sort of method to save your projects, whether that's a USB or an online cloud that you use to save all your files just for easier access. I hope that answers your question or clears up any misunderstanding about accessing the Adobe software um, at the libraries. If there's no other question, I'm going to continue. So that's a little bit about the open source software available in the room. Um, the last thing I'll mention here is that this software does work in addition to hardware, which we're going to get to in just a moment. So you can use any of these software independent of hardware, um, or you can use it in addition to hardware to improve processes or to work on different projects. Okay. So the last piece within software that I do want to highlight are our business databases. So in the digital creation space, you will still have access to all of our business databases available on our main library website under Research and Learn. Specifically, I do want to highlight these databases. Um, Reference Solutions, this is an excellent software to use when you begin or continue any market research or competitive analysis for your business. Completing this can assist you with your digital media projects as you review what current graphics are common within your industry to assist you with creating a relevant and current design. Next, listed here, I have Gale Entrepreneurship. This database contains access to thousands of business plans from a variety of industries. It also contains information about marketing strategies, which may provide prompts for creating content for your business promotion. Now, Gale Business Insights, it's a sister database to entrepreneurship. This database contains access to current industry information. This is useful for finding current trends that may be beneficial to potential products, services, or marketing. And the next two are just great learning resources. LinkedIn Learning provides online training courses that cover a variety of topics, including business, design, web development, and multimedia skills and software, such as Microsoft Office, Adobe Creative Suite, and as mentioned earlier, those open source applications. And Udemy, like LinkedIn Learning, this resource contains videos curated to build skills across business, technology, design, and more. And it includes over 10,000 plus on-demand courses in multiple languages. So we have a lot of learning resources and things to supplement wherever you are in your business. Okay, so we've talked about our software that's available in the digital creation space. Next, let's talk about the equipment. So we've kind of broken this down into different categories just to make talking about the equipment easier today. So in the digital creation space, you do have access to a variety of audio equipment. And listed here, we have microphones, a MIDI keyboard, headphones, and a Scarlett Focusrite 2i2 audio interface. So what does this all mean? What can you do with this? Um, Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can view that complete equipment list of everything in this space. On that list, you will see that we actually provide access to 4 different types of microphones in the digital creation space. One is a USB microphone. So if you're newer to any kind of recording, I would recommend using the USB microphone until you get a little bit more familiar with audio. It literally just plugs into a computer and you can open a recording software of your choice or Adobe Audition, and you can record your first episode of a podcast. We also provide access to an additional 3 different types of microphones that are XLR cable connections. So when you make use of those microphones, you also want to make sure you're borrowing our microphone stands, as well as that Scarlett Focusrite audio interface. So those are, I guess, in a way, old school microphones. They're still considered standard pieces of equipment across the industry. But if you're going to do multiple voices in a recording, maybe you need multiple microphones. We provide access to um, those microphones, which are 1 dynamic and 2 condenser microphones that should give you really good vocal audio. Now that dynamic mic is more intended for more instrumental usage. So if you do play an instrument and you're wanting to record, that is an option as well. Now that MIDI keyboard, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a miniature piano keyboard that is a USB drive. You plug that into a computer and you can connect it with a online software like BandLab, and you can use it to create music. It has a drum pad along the top, or if you're a good piano player, you can um, play and record your own music that way. And of course, you have to have a way to listen to anything you record in this space. So we do provide access to at least 1 set of headphones in the digital creation space. Um, at this time, um, it does not connect to Bluetooth headsets, so it is recommended that you bring a wired set of headphones to use in this space. But that is all about audio. So with access to all of these different pieces of equipment, you could start recording videos for YouTube. You could record a podcast. You could create your own startup tunes for a video. Whatever you're looking to do, these pieces of equipment can help you out. So we've talked about audio. Let's talk a little bit on the flip side, visual equipment. So we have in this space, for as far as the visual goes, a Canon Rebel T7 DSLR camera, and we provide access to some mobile photography accessories. These are kits that actually match our Steam kit that's available for checkout. It includes lenses for your mobile device, a shotgun microphone, a tripod, and a Bluetooth clicker. So let's talk a little bit about this. DSLRs are still very much in usage. They give you quality images for your products, give you quality images for your business photos if you need a headshot to give your customers someone to identify with. So we do provide access to this piece of equipment, but we also know that we now have devices in our pockets that are just as good, if not better, than a DSLR. So that's why we do provide these accessories. So the lenses, we have 3 different lenses that you can attach to your mobile device to get different angles or close-ups without having to zoom in or zoom out and get really grainy photos on your phone. Now, a shotgun microphone, it is a attachment to your phone to get better or audio recording if you're using your phone for recording. If you've ever seen news reporting cameras, how they have attached a microphone that just kind of sticks out, it's a directional microphone. So you want to make sure that that microphone is always pointed towards the subject of your recording to make sure you get the best sound quality. Because if it's pointing away, you're not going to get any noise whatsoever. And finally, those tripod and Bluetooth clicker. Now the tripod is not in this kit, in this specific one, it's a miniature one for your phone. So it's a smaller one you can set on top of a table, or it's actually grippy and foldable. So if you need to hook it on top of something to get a better angle or attachment, that tripod is meant to move. It's actually called a lobster pod, kind of a fun name. And the Bluetooth clicker is if you're the only one in the room. So you can see here in this photo of the space that we have a staff member taking a photo of their subject. So if you're in there by yourself, you can actually set up your phone on a taller tripod we have available and use that Bluetooth clicker to click your photography or start and stop a video. So we try and enable all of our users in this space and take care of multiple different needs. So I've mentioned a few things you can do here with this equipment: product photography, headshots, different kinds of recording. You can do it all. And of course, once you take that photography or any kind of images, you can pop those images into Photoshop and clean up or do any kind of editing to make sure you're getting the best quality images for whatever business needs you have. Alrighty. But wait, there's more. So we also provide access to equipment that supports digital art needs. This includes access to a Wacom One graphics drawing tablet and a Cricut Maker machine. So there's a lot you can do with both here. Now, Wacom One graphics tablet, let's start there. A Wacom One tablet, so let's say you're really artistic, you're doing your own graphics, you're very good at drawing, but when it comes to using a software like Photoshop, using the mouse to draw or color or do image or any kind of graphics editing becomes an additional challenge because you're moving your mouse on the screen and having to watch the screen to do it, any kind of minute movement. So you can actually connect this device to our computer and it will mirror the screen. It's like any kind of tablet. It has a screen that you can now use a touch sensitive pen to draw within the Photoshop software, and you don't have to be staring up at the screen. You can look down and do whatever you need to. It's also a very useful tool for mind mapping or any kind of organizational planning. It works with software beyond Photoshop. It works with anything in the Adobe software suite or any software on the DCS computers. So it's a very, very useful digital art tool or supplemental tool for whatever you're working on. Now, the Cricut Maker is a crazy piece of equipment. It can take digital designs and make it into a two-dimensional or three-dimensional reality. So the Cricut Maker can cut or draw or emboss over 300 plus types of material. You can see it pictured here over on the right on this screen. That is the Cricut Maker. It is a cutting machine, a smart cutting machine. So if you've ever used a die cut machine to cut multiple pieces of paper in a specific shape, this machine does that on a customized basis. So if you're in the process of product development or wanting to create some marketing tools for your business, this machine can help you out. It can emboss your business cards. It can cut out your logo for a sticker that you place on cups. That's a more subtle method of marketing. There's so much you can do with a Cricut Maker machine. Now, if you are looking to use the digital creation space and make use of the Cricut Maker machine, um, we do have entire classes about this piece of equipment available on her YouTube channel. If you go to the Plano Public Library YouTube channel and just search Cricut classes, there should be 3 that pop up. One is just machine overview. And if you do visit us at the library, you are responsible for your piece of material you want cut. We just provide access to the machine. The material is on the person using it to bring. Before I continue, are there any questions about anything?
No questions so far.
Okie dokie. Thank you so much. All right. And finally, we do have some pieces of equipment that fall under the additional accessories category. So, um, so this includes our lighting kits. It includes our green screen, our full-sized tripod, and microphone stands. So you may have heard me mention these earlier. They don't fall exactly right under other categories. They're more accessories to those types of equipment. So a lighting kit is very beneficial if you're doing any kind of photography. Each of our digital creation spaces do have access to a kit that's in a bag like like you see here. Each kit does contain at least access to 2 different lighting kits, so you can get that 2-dimensional lighting, either for product photography or any kind of headshot or recording you're trying to do. And we do provide full green screens. They're probably about 10 or 11 feet tall. And on the flip side, there's that blue side of the screen as well for more animation uses or effects. And we do have a full-sized tripod as well. And microphone stands for those XLR mics. Okay. Are there any questions about the type of equipment available in this space? About anything you can do with the digital creation space or support your business needs?
No questions about that.
Okay. All righty. Then I just want to take a moment and share some additional resources we have. So here at Plano Public Library, we do have a lot to support entrepreneurship. We have more books than what I have listed here. The ones I highlighted today relate specifically to utilizing technology in the DCS or are related to marketing needs for your business. The databases, this is just another reminder that they are available and that there are more than what I included earlier. We do offer a free service called Book a Librarian, where if you are wanting to work on something specific, such as setting up for a podcast or assistance with market research, that is possible with this service. We also do have a few upcoming programs related to technology and business needs this month. So we have some fun things coming up. In a few days, we have an After Effects basic motion graphics class. And if you've ever wanted to get familiar with Canva, we are offering 2 classes, both virtual on how to use Canva for just the basics and branding, as well as social media and video creation. And this is more on the business focus. We are offering a reference solutions tutorial specifically on market research. It's going to be on Monday, August the 19th It is virtual, just like today's class. And we are also offering an in-person class on building your brand development on August 26th at Haggard Library at 6:30 p.m. And we encourage you to join us for our monthly Team Up for Entrepreneurial Success program. It occurs the fourth Tuesday of every month at Haggard Library at 6:30 p.m. So this month it is on August 27th, and our topic is market research. Alrighty, and of course you can access all of these programs on our website. But if there, I'd like to just take this moment and ask if anyone has any questions about anything digital creation space related or entrepreneurial support. We are finished a little ahead of schedule, so really like to give this time to y'all to ask us any questions or share any comments. But we hope that this helps you understand more of the resources available for our entrepreneurs in our community, and that you understand what we have available in our digital creation spaces. Maybe you just now understand what that DCS selection on the library card application was for.
No questions so far, Caitlin. I'm going to leave the chat feature open if you have questions there, as well as the Q&A feature. So please go ahead and click on either of those and type in any questions you may have.
And if you can't think of anything now, you are also welcome to email us. My email is on the screen. So we hope you enjoyed today's program and that you have a great day. That's all we have for today. Thank you all so much.